All right, welcome to the State Class A Championship football game, Fitzpatrick Stadium on a beautiful Saturday, November 17th on Thornton Academy Television. Jim Toomey alongside, glad to have him with us, our partner during the season on PressHerald.com, Coach Rob Munzing. Once a coach, always a coach, Rob. A beautiful day for football.
Well, this is a great venue for this. It's really worked out well. It came about one of the years when the grass fields weren't ready to be played after some snowstorms, and they came down here, and it was a stroke of genius by the MPA to see that they had something neat here, and it certainly has worked out well. It's going to be a great day for football. It's a great day for Thornton Academy as they're back in the championship game after a drought, and they will be ready to go. But they're going to face a very stout opponent in Lawrence High School. Proud tradition of football. I coached a lot of years against Lawrence High School back up in Central Maine when I was at Gardner. They are a fiercely prideful program. They came, they traveled well. They are going to play hard and tough, and it'll be Thornton Academy will have to match that emotion that Lawrence as the underdog is going to show right out of the gate.
Lawrence coming in at 10-0. They had an 8-game regular season, only 2 rounds of the playoffs in Eastern A. They're scoring at a pace of 37.5 points a game while giving up only 8.7. Because Thornton Academy coming off that big win in the Western Maine title game against Cheverus, 20-13, a week ago, November 10th. Thornton 10-1 at the season, averaging 38.8 while giving up 16.3. Katie Sotiers on the camera, general manager of Thornton Academy Television, Jeff Christenberry on the sidelines. And Rob, looks like Lawrence has won the toss and will receive. Thornton kicking right to left, and we'll see what the footer Brandon Briggs does here.
Well, we're going to have 2 very good kickers in this game. Kick games will be equal here as well. Lawrence good in that regard also.
We're underway. It's actually a squib kick, and that's taken by, looks like 25, Doolin. Watch out. It's Jake Doolin. Briggs cannot get him. Jake Doolin has returned the kickoff for a Lawrence touchdown, about 70 yards. No flags, touchdown Lawrence. And the crowd on the other side is going bananas.
Can you say 1988, Jim Toomey? In 1988, these 2 teams met in the championship game, and Kurt Matthew returned the opening kickoff for Lawrence for a touchdown. He was their premier running back at that time, and that was all it wrote, actually, for Lawrence in that game as Thornton went on handily. They'll have to do the same thing here today.
Sharon Martin will attempt the point. And the kick is good. So only with 13 seconds gone off the clock, Lawrence, as we look down, Rob, that was what, about 83 yards maybe as I look at it a second time.
Yeah, it was down inside. He picked it up in around the 15-yard line on the bounce, and you could see immediately a big hole opened up the middle. They went with a middle return, Jim. It opened up very quickly for Doolin. He made a great move. Briggs had a chance at him, lost his footing, and Doolin went for the touchdown.
And that's Jake Doolin, 5'7", 170-pound senior. 21, Josh Doolin. Are they twins by any chance, do you know?
Brothers.
Okay, so Jake Doolin scored the touchdown. And I started to allude to the fact that maybe we had going to have another touchback by Brandon Briggs, but it sort of squibbed down there.
Yeah, squibbed down there. It was on the ground. It took one good solid bounce waist high for Doolin, and he was able to get into that double wedge. They ran up the middle, and as I said, 1988, it's deja vu all over again. We'll see how the Thornton Academy Trojans respond to that adversity right out of the gate.
All right, Martin to kick off. And that's sort of a squib kick. Tough bounce. Tarbox picks it up. Tarbox trying to get to the outside. Sheds one tackler, so Thornton will have pretty good field position over the 35-yard line. I'm going to call that an 83-yard kickoff return by Jake Doolin. And Chad Martin, who's had success as a place kicker, continued it here today with the extra point kick. Again, we expect to see Eric Christensen, number 11, a quarterback. In the backfield, 16, Andrew Libby, 24, Dylan Morton, and 34, Nick Kenny, who's lined up to the left of Christensen, nearest to us. 1st and 10, Trojans. Christensen going to keep. And the whole pile is moving. And continues to move, and finally a whistle. We expect to see 85 Dakota Tarbox, 74 Ashton Lord, or sometimes 55 Connor McCrum at a tackle, 72 David LaPaulo, Mike Granger, the guards. The other tackle, 70, Ian Paul, Bobby Began, the center. And I'm sure we'll see other players in the game, such as John Riziakis, Alex Riziakis. Looks like a Wildcat alert right off the bat, Rob.
Yeah, coming Wildcat right out of the gate. I'm sure these plays are scripted from the start.
Andrew Libby coming off that big game against Cheverus. Was second in about 4, picked up maybe about 3. And I was talking to some friends I know from WABI Channel 5 in Bangor, and saying you can see the Wildcat 20% of the game, or you could see it maybe 65%, because it varies on the opponent and matchups.
And it varies on how it gets going during the course of the game here. That's one of the things that the TA has. They've got a varied approach. Here's the power. Watch him go left side.
3rd and 1. Libby might have got the first down on the second lunge. Thornton fans on this side, big crowd on hand. I'm sure Katie has a shot of the other side, the Lawrence. I was in the parking lot a little after 8, and Lawrence fans were arriving at that point.
Coming down from Gardner up in Central Maine, I passed a lot of Go Bulldog signs, and I passed one of my good buddies, Chris Cimatelli, who was the athletic trainer at Gardner High School during my stay. His son Anthony is the right cornerback here, number 20, outstanding player for Lawrence.
And we'll see him on the offensive side of the ball. We have Libby flanked. They give to Kenny, Nick Kenny, near the 35 of Lawrence. First down, Thornton Academy. Ian Paul comes over, congratulates Kenny. And maybe Kenny should congratulate Ian Paul, who maybe threw a block.
Yeah, great big hole for Kenny. We've talked about Kenny being a downhill runner all season. That's what they did. Went right side, downhill, never got touched until he got to the 3rd level. What Thornton Academy is doing right now is methodically taking some of that energy away from the Lawrence Bulldogs after that big kickoff return.
A couple plays to watch for Lawrence on defense. We'll tell you in a second. Nick Kenny, no gain, maybe a yard loss. Look for a big number 62, Eric Stewart, 6'1", 290 and a senior. Also number 40, Luke Lawrence, a linebacker, number 6 feet, 220 pounds. And when we're checking out the tackles, they have Luke Lawrence on the website getting 97 tackles. And Eric Stewart, 77. They actually gave him to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10 Trojans going right to left. State Class A championship game. Dylan Morton trying to get to the outside. Cuts it back in to about the 31. So it'll be a 3rd down, Rob, the first 3rd down of the game for Thornton Academy.
Got to think 2-down territory here, Jim, at just about the 31-yard line. So they've got 2 downs to get it here. They went with the jet sweep that time, coming from right to left on the motion. It was Morton trying to get that outside running lane, as we've seen him do during the course of the year. That time Lawrence did a pretty good job of pursuing. Good matchup you want to look for here is Dakota Tarbox on the smaller secondary corners.
Libby's in the Wildcat. Alex Riziakis is in the game. Libby trying to get it himself. Libby falls forward, first down Trojans.
Wildcat being effective that time on the 3rd, and what you would think would be a passing situation. Kevin Kiesel had determined we're going to run the ball because we know we're going to go for it on 4th down. So it wasn't really a pass situation, Wildcat situation, execution off that left side, which they favor a lot of times.
Ball marked at about the 21-yard line. Trojans going right to left here. Taping this game on a beautiful Saturday, November 17th. Large crowd on hand. Libby once again. Libby shakes a tackle, holding on. Was Josh Doolin, 21. Had Libby around the ankle, and then Libby pulled forward for a couple of more yards.
I didn't get to see the game last week with Cheverus as we were working for the Kennebec Journal up in Central Maine, live streaming the Winslow game. But Jim, you were telling me Libby got lots of his yards last week against Cheverus on 2nd effort, and we saw it right there.
He was probably featured again 60 or 65% last week against a very talented Cheverus team. Nick Kenny inside the 10, brought down by Keenan Scanlon, number 44. Again, 21 seniors on this Lawrence team who are no strangers to this turf, being here a year ago, and certainly want to play better than they did against Cheverus last year. Of course, the kickoff return has them leading 7-0.
And they pride themselves on good, hard-nosed defense against the run. So what has TA done? They've come out, and right now they are running it right down the throat of the Lawrence Bulldogs.
Again, Libby and the Wildcat. Christensen top of the screen. Morton, next player over. Libby doesn't get much. And that was a 1st and goal from the 9. You know how I feel about 1st and goal from the 9, 9.5.
Yeah, Jim always likes it to be right outside the 10-yard line, so you get a chance at that. They went to Wildcat that time, and you could see the Lawrence defense. You probably saw it as Katie got the pictures. They shifted over to their right, the left side, because they know from scouting that TA likes to go left side out of Wildcat, and they stung it that time pretty well.
Actually gave him a gain of 3. 2nd and goal from the 6. As the Trojans go towards the Hadlock Field end of the stadium. There's Nick Kenny near the goal line. Touchdown, Trojans. A little hesitation, but the official on the line. 6 yards out. Nick Kenny on a power run.
One of the things that Lawrence does very well is they run to the football. Well, the hardest play to run to the football on is a north and south run. If you look back on this drive, Jim, the most effective plays for Thornton Academy, Nick Kenny, north and south.
Brandon Briggs will attempt the kick. Cody Meserve, the long snapper. Eric Christensen, the holder. The kick is up, and they say it's wide right. Looked good from here, similar to last week at Chevrolet. It drifted to the right. But the thing is, Thornton came back after being shocked by the opening kickoff by Lawrence. 6:09 to go, first period. Lawrence 7, Thornton Academy 6 on Thornton Academy television. They held Chevrolet on the 4th down, like on the 25. Yeah. Libby goes in on the first play. I'm going good news, bad news. So they went for 2 points to get it to 9, and they missed it. That's why it was.
Hey, geez, I jinxed your kicker. I was talking about him all morning.
Beats is 21, Josh Doolin.
Good news is we came back. Yes. All right, that's Josh Doolin this time, and excellent coverage this time. Had a chat with Mike Antonellis, excellent Sea Dogs announcer, doing radio today for WJAB. He knows his football as well. Since I'm a season's ticket holder, I said I'll probably have more clothes on for the opening series in April than today, Rob.
Yeah, they would take a day like this in April, wouldn't they?
I'll tell you, when we go, my wife and I go to the Sea Dogs, we bring a whole bunch of stuff, especially early in the season. 6:03 to go. Lawrence leading 7-6. First time we've seen the offensive set. And Cementelli with over 1,000 yards on the season. And pretty much going to be a running attack for Lawrence.
It is primarily run. You'll see Anthony Cementelli will be one of the prime carries. He's out right now. He's a good, tough, hard-nosed runner inside the tackles, even though he's what you would not say is a big tailback prototype kid, real tough kid, but a multi-pronged running attack here. But they'll come out in trips this time. Let's see if they go pass.
Inside handoff. Dakota Tarbox all over that one. On a 2nd and 5 play. It was Josh Doolin maybe losing a half a yard or so, so it's going to be 3rd down. Lawrence Bulldogs from Fairfield, Clinton, Burnham, and Albion.
And Benton.
Benton too. Did I leave out?
Benton, not Benton.
That's why you're here.
Benton, not Burnham.
Oh yes, Burnham goes to MCI.
Right.
With all the school changes, they're still maintaining SAT 49 as an original unit. Big 3rd down play. Fake the pitch out. Instead, they go in a counter play inside, and a loss. Number 22, Xavier Lewis, who doesn't carry that much, gets snowed under by Dakota Tarbox. I didn't even have Lewis down as one of their 3 or 4 top ball carriers.
Lewis playing in the slot to transfer from Bangor this year. You'll see him on the hardwood this winter doing a great job. Tried to run the counter. Tarbox, 2 big plays on that series.
Only carried 12 times during the regular season, according to my stats. A short kick, watch out. Poison, they yell, or fire or something, when you want your receiving team to get away from it. Took a sort of a Lawrence roll, so we 1st and 10 Trojans at about their own 38, so still pretty good field position.
Well, that was the first offensive foray there for the Lawrence Bulldogs, and not very effective. Why? Because the Thornton Academy Trojans won the line of scrimmage consistently on that. Tarbox, 2 big plays. The first one, they put trips out to try to get Tarbox out of the box on defense. He wouldn't buy it, didn't respect the trips, thought that they were spreading them out to run the football. That's a coaching decision. That's what you scout for. He stayed in the box, made the tackle.
Dylan Morton flanked out, near side. Libby in motion. Nick Kenny bounces off one player. And pretty good gang tackling. I saw the quarterback, Spencer Carey, playing on the defensive side. He's pretty big, number 9, 6'2", 210, part of that tackle for the Lawrence Bulldogs. Again, a long tradition of football success and a chance they may be in Class B next year?
Yes, that's where their numbers will put them. It'll be whether or not they decide to petition up to Class A, which I think they're on the fence about right now, but that'll all come after this game. This is all the discussion that's been going on in Fairfield is this game right now.
Okay, 2 receivers to the top. Low snap. Christensen picks it up. Shakes off a tackler, throws deep downfield for Libby. And Libby couldn't quite get it. It sounded like an outfielder as he had to change shoulders. As they escaped the bad snap, Christensen showed some strength. And then, I don't know about you, Rob, but as the ball came to the other shoulder, I said, maybe Andrew Libby's going to make this adjustment.
Yeah, Spencer Carey on the coverage is a premier defensive back. But I was watching the previous play, and Lawrence had everybody up at the line of scrimmage, and I thought Coach Kiesel might go for the pass. He did. He tried to get Libby down, but the play broke off with the bad snap to start with.
3rd and 8 Trojans, trailing 7-6. Christensen, sideline, out of bounds, intended for Tarbox. And the Trojans will go into punt formation. Andrew Libby is the punter.
Sorry if I'm blocking you.
That's okay.
And it's actually a long snapper on punts. I'm not sure he mentioned is Cody Lynn. Cody Meserve snaps on the place, but the tight end, Cody Lynn, done a nice job, many facets of the game this year. Fair catch and made. A little juggle by Josh Doolin, but he does catch it. 1st and 10 Lawrence from their own 21. I get a little nostalgic, philosophical at times, I admit that, but Thornton's in the championship today. Players that have played in recent years are part of this. Sure. The junior Trojans are part of this. Broadcasters that I've worked with, such as Paul Remus, very involved in the Junior Trojans program. Camera people like Jeff Scott that you met.
Right.
And Randy Pulsiver, Greg Murray are all part of this, along with Jeff Christenberry, Ray Lund, TATV over the years.
Absolutely, Jim. Yeah, I'll have a thought on that after this play.
Okay. 1st down. And Josh Doolin showing pretty good strength, but a lot of support from Thornton, but it's not just the people here today that are part of any program.
Yeah, what I always like to say when I was head coach at Gardner High School, and we have a long tradition at Gardner High School that, they say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to build a football program, Jim, and you put it very well. All the people that have worked through the years when these kids were small to bring the love of football that they had and share it with these kids and make them want to commit to a program. The head coaches all around the state will tell you, you are only as good as your feeder program and the community support that you garner.
Well said, as the Bulldogs face a 2nd and 4. Go pretty much up the middle for little or no gain. The interior of the Thornton defense, 72, David LaPaulo, coming off a great game against Chevrolet. 53, Bobby Began. The Q-man, Quinlan O'Brien, 64, at a nose tackle. All part of that. I see Mike Granger along the line, 75. Again, O'Brien, 64. LaPaulo, 72. Tarbox is like a defensive end, but can drop back as a linebacker if needed.
Yeah, he's a hybrid-type player there. He can play up on, he put his hand down, rush the pass. We've seen through the course of the year, also get underneath those quick outs and things of that sort.
3 receivers to the top of the screen. They throw out sort of a wide receiver screen and shaking a tackle for the 1st down. Jake Doolin out there, who, again, returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And Lawrence, 1-for-1 passing, and it's a Bulldog 1st down.
Yes, I like what Coach Hersom did out there. He had a third medium. He's been getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage. He went trips left side. And what Thornton Academy's adjustment is, they aren't honoring the trips. By honoring the trips, I'm talking about they're not putting three guys out. You saw Tarbox stay down inside in the box. So they had a 3-on-2 out there, and they played basketball. Got it out there, got a screen, and got the first down.
First down, Lawrence from their own 32-yard line, leading 7-6. We're under 2 minutes to go, first half. Anthony Cementelli, a 1,000-yard rusher on a short gain. Other defensive people out there, 29, Alex Riziakis. 21, John Riziakis, coming back from an injury and played well in the Cheverus game. Also, Cody Lynn, 18, Andrew Libby, 16, part of the defensive set. And Dylan Morton has come in lately to play a cornerback, number 24. 1 minute to go, first period. 2nd and 6. Spencer Carey gonna keep it. And falls forward, showing good strength. Again, 6'2", 210. I think he's gonna be, let's see where they mark it, Rob.
Just a little short, I believe. Going to be third and about a foot. That was the Lawrence Bulldog variation of a Wildcat, but by using the quarterback in there. And it's basically Wildcat with the quarterback. Spencer Carey's a good, tough, hard-nosed athlete. Big kid, good two-way player. Lots of good two-way players here in this game today, Jim.
Now, Thornton Academy Television showed that Scarborough game. We had a chuckle where we had to put a credit card for that first down. We had a chuckle about that one.
That was a great one.
And let's see. First down, Lawrence. They just got enough.
Yeah, great second effort.
That was Josh Doolin, the first down. And that's probably the last play of the first period as they wind the clock.
Doolin picks up 4. Got the ball out to the 46.
I think that's Peter Gribben on the PA, longtime Portland High School, I think, teacher and a historian of Portland sports, doing a good job in the PA. At the end of the first quarter, state Class A football championship from Fitzpatrick Stadium on November 17th. Lawrence 7 and Thornton Academy 6 on Thornton Academy Television. And right in front of our camera position, pretty much a short gain. And that's another ball carry for Lawrence. Number 24, Jake Giroux. Again, looks like they rotate as many as maybe 5 running backs.
It's a deep team, and, you know, they've been primed for this. They were here last year, back-to-back appearances for the Lawrence Bulldogs. You know, they have been pointing to this. I was hearing about these kids when they were in 8th grade.
Second down, trying to go wide is Josh Doolin. Who's at the ankles?
Dakota Tarbox.
You are correct, Rob Munzing. Again, we're only using one microphone today, so we'll try to remember to hand it back and forth. We are in our own booth. We were warmly received here. The site director is Gary Groves, who is the athletic director of Great New Gloucester High School.
He's been doing this for a lot of years. I remember when I brought my Gardner teams down here in 97, 98, Gary was coordinating. He does a great job.
I found out he's a Westbrook High graduate like I am.
There you go.
Blue Blazes. All right, right now we got business at hand. 3rd and long for Lawrence, going right to left. Spencer Carey throws out there. And holding on for dear life, I think, is John Riziakis. Then he got some help. But John Riziakis came up. And let's see what Lawrence does here. It's going to be a 4th and about 2 from the 46. And I see the punter already out there, Rob.
Yeah, no question about this. They've got a 1-point lead. They're going to punt the football here, play some field position, because their defense did a decent job on the second drive.
Okay, good snap. Punting Cole Robinson. And again, Thornton's running away from it, and artificial turf bounce here, and downed on about the 8-yard line. So field position sort of tilted in the place of Lawrence, but we know Thornton can change the field position on 1 or 2 plays.
Well, exactly right. And so far, Lawrence has held on, haven't given up the big play. The one good drive, the first drive of the game here for Thornton Academy, resulting in the touchdown, was a methodical type drive. They did try to hit the one big pass to Libby that went incomplete. We'll see what they got up their sleeve this time, if it's going to be standard or Wildcat. Looks like Wildcat.
I see Christensen to the top of the screen, which means Libby is in the Wildcat. It is a blitz. And the player missed Libby, but it's only going to be a short gain that threw the timing enough. But number 33, I believe, Ethan Powers, came like shot out of a cannon, I think.
It was 32 or 33, wasn't sure. Somebody came right up the A-gap. That's how they're going to try to defense the Wildcat, is by getting a blitz on it. Came right up, missed the tackle. Libby was able to pick up a couple of tough yards, but the Lawrence kids are swarm tackling very well.
Okay, 2nd and 7. Looks like Morton to the top, Tarbox to the near side. Christensen hands off to Kenny. And nothing there. It is the middle of that Lawrence line. They team up for the stops. 3rd and about 6 for Thornton Academy. Now, how much do you open the playbook here? You go to Libby and the Wildcat, you think? They're going to throw it out past. You have to be careful on this field position.
Well, we haven't seen him go to Dakota Tarbox. He's going to come to the top of the screen. He's in the slot right here. He's got a big cushion, maybe on the out.
That's Christensen looking downfield, throwing out to Tarbox, and again, a little overthrown. Coming in late, putting pressure on, was that Luke Lawrence. No flag in the play, but he was in the area pressuring Christensen. So it'll be a punting situation for Thornton, trailing 7-6 with 8:50 to go in a fairly quick-moving first half. Looking down at the wind probably only about 5 to 7 miles an hour in the face of Andrew Libby, who'll be in the end zone. So the snap is crucial here. It is excellent snap, Cody Lynn. Libby just more high than it's long. And Lawrence going to have excellent field position at the 34-yard line of Thornton.
Well, exactly. Let's go back. Let's rewind this game tape here a little bit in your mind. Lawrence had a 4th and 2. What did they do? They punted. They punted away from Libby so he couldn't get a return. They were looking to punt, get field position, get a 3, get out, force the punt, and change field position in their favor. Every part of that has worked. So what's up now? Thornton Academy defense has got to get a 3 and out themselves. Or a turnover.
Oh, turnover would be big here. Pretty basic handoff. Again, we'll wait and see the ball carrier. There's 21, Josh Doolin. Gain of a couple yards. Alex Ruziakis, Quinlan O'Brien getting credit for the tackle. Again, I'm looking out the window here. The stands completely full on this side. People on the various hills here, and a full house across the way. Spencer Carey sprints to his right, throws downfield. It's complete to the 10. And maybe going for a touchdown. Touchdown, Lawrence. Spencer Carey to Aaron LaFrance. We saw that one set up, Rob. And nicely done by Lawrence. 30 yards.
Lawrence going to call a timeout here, Jim, as they don't have the holder or somebody not on the kick team. Let's recap that play right there. They came out in the wing T formation, wing to the left side. Ran the waggle play. Spencer Carey came to his right. Looked for the drag across the middle, hit it perfectly to LaFrance. LaFrance going from left to right, made the catch, spun back to his left, got a good block in about the 5-yard line, took it in the end zone. Nice execution on the waggle pass play that time for the Lawrence Bulldogs, and they've got themselves a shot at getting a commanding lead here early on in this, which I think is a lot of folks probably around the state are going to go, whoa, we're going to have ourselves a heck of a tilt here, and it really is shaping up that way as Lawrence is executing well. What did they do, Jim? They took advantage of that field position shift where they got the ball inside the 35-yard line here. Couple of plays right down the field into the end zone.
According to my stats, LaFrance had 2 receptions coming in for 37 yards and no touchdowns, but he's got a big one here today. Chard Martin attempt the point. And we have a whistle. Some movement up front. Which side was it? It's a 13-6 lead here. And false start Lawrence, but I noticed Chad Martin has made 4 field goals on the year. He made 2 against Coney in the Eastern Maine Championship.
Yeah, he had a big field goal late in the first half. Coney was up in that game 10-3. It was a turnover fest in the first half of the Lawrence Bulldogs of that game last Saturday. They turned the ball over 4 times. They trailed 10-0 late. The field goal gave them a little momentum, and then they dominated in the second half.
The ball spot at the 15, and looks good. And the point is good. So Chad Martin, after the penalty, says that's okay. So they come back up the field, 7:55 to go first half. Lawrence 14, Thornton Academy 6 on Thornton Academy TV. Right. Okay, back here. Fitzpatrick Stadium, Lawrence kicking off right to left, Chad Martin. Let's see if the Trojans can get a good return here. Squib kick. And Libby at about the 12-yard line. Libby up over the 30. And the Trojans will have a 1st and 10 over the 30-yard line. Mark it at the 32. Again, you can't panic here, Rob. It's only still a 1-touchdown game if you have the 2-point conversion. You got 7:49 plus the whole second half.
Yeah, you're looking for a field position drive here at least. A couple of first downs would be good. And then if they have to punt, fine. They should be able to pin Lawrence a little bit deep, get a 3-and-out. They'll still have time in the first half.
Dylan Morton flanked the near side. Christensen to Kenny. Kenny has a hole. Kenny over the 40-yard line. Maybe just short of the first down. Nick Kenny running very hard.
Yeah, I like what Coach Kiesel got back to. That was the successful plays that they had in the first touchdown drive. Kenny downhill north and south, take some big splits in there, put it on your offensive line to start to try to command that forcing unit of Lawrence, who has had some success here. So they didn't go east-west, they went north-south. It's been their best bet so far.
On 2nd and short, Kenny comes out and they go to the Wildcat. 29, Alex Riziakis, sort of a blocking back. Libby in the Wildcat. Left side, how many times have we seen that? Looks like a first down Thornton. They throw him back, but the mark is going to be good for the first down.
Well, we know they like that left side a lot, Jim. I'm still waiting, and we've been kind of setting it up over the course of the games. If you watched our Munzing Media Productions on the Portland Press Herald, and we know a lot of folks have, you'll know that we've been waiting for Libby to unleash one out of this Wildcat. I don't know if they did it last week against Chevis, Jim. I wasn't at the game, but I think they've got that in their arsenal. I think we may see it today.
First down, Thornton. Looks like the Wildcat again. Christensen top of the screen. Morton in motion. Libby finds a hole off the right side and chugs ahead for a quick 8 yards or so. Thornton fans on this side getting excited. And again, we'd like to thank Munzing Media, PressHerald.com, Nate Munzing, Athletic Director Gary Stevens of Thornton. I'm doing this now just so at the end of the game with, signing off and everything.
Watch him going left here.
It's actually 2nd and short. Again, Tarbox out there. Tarbox has the catch. 20. He's going to go. Touchdown, Trojans. We saw it from up here. Tarbox is out there. More importantly, Christensen saw him. Tarbox made the catch. Shook off a tackler and went in from 48 yards.
Well, that's one Coach Kevin Kiesel's been saving, Jim. What he went to do there that time, he set up that beautifully throughout the course of the year. They exchanged every single tape. Lawrence is seeing every single time they come out in that power formation that they like to run Libby left side. This time the play action pass, Tarbox left tight end, ran a flag only, a one-man pattern. Beautiful play action pass that time. Christensen put it right on the money, put a little air under it. Dakota ran under it, made a move into the end zone.
Going for 2. Christensen wants the pass, looking for Libby. He's going to scramble left. Can he get to the corner? And he's in there for 2 points. Thornton has tied it on the scramble by Christensen. He rolled out to the right. No receivers were open, so he went to the left side and with a strong body went in for the 2 points.
Big, strong quarterbacks will be able to get that tough couple of yards. Not as the play was designed, Jim. They were going roll-out pass right side. It broke down. Back to the left side, dive and got into the pylon, just made it over the line, but when the official puts his hands up, they ring 2 points up on the board. We got ourselves a heck of a Class A tilt here, Jim, as we've still got 6:03 left in this first half, tied at 14.
Okay, again, field position with that amount of time left. You got to think one team or the other is going to be maybe in the red zone before this period is over.
I think absolutely, Jim. And, of course, how do you change field position? Well, we've seen very often that Brandon Briggs has kicked the ball into the end zone. Not so far today. We'll see if he's able to unleash one, kick it up to 295 northbound.
All right. Little wind, but not too much. Shouldn't affect it. And Briggs kicks this one, but coming up for it is Josh Doolin. And sort of a hole up the middle closed. Quinlan O'Brien in there and Alex Riziakis. So a pretty good return by Josh Doolin. 1st and 10, the Lawrence Bulldogs. Ball marked right at the 30-yard line. Jim Toomey along with Rob Munzing. Katie Sotier on the camera. Jeff Christenberry working the sideline, and he's going to have this documentary. He's taking so much footage, Rob. I don't know if it's going to be a 3-hour epic. I hope he has you and I on at least for 15 seconds.
15 seconds
of the 2 hours or whatever.
Uh-oh.
High snap, carry. Does not get it, and Thornton may have it. There's the big turnover. I don't know who got is that Andrew Libby? Andrew Libby might have been there. Let's see what the PA man says. Rob and I were begging for airtime on the documentary. Next thing I know, the ball's over the head of Spencer Carey. He tried to grab it, couldn't do it, and Thornton came up with it.
There was airtime as we were begging for airtime, Jim. The airtime was with the footballs, went over Spencer Carey's head, and he almost got it on the first bounce. If you don't get it on the first bounce, forget it, because that second bounce is going to go haywire. Went haywire, and Thornton Academy got on it. I think you're going to see maybe Kenny if he's in the ball game, because they've had some good luck with Nick going north and south.
And a little mix-up by Thornton on substitution, so we have a timeout. Catch our breath here. And my favorite setup, 1st and 10 from the 10.5.
Gives them that opportunity to pick up a first down inside the 1. We call this sudden change situation the coaching business now, and that's certainly what Coach Hersom for the Lawrence Bulldogs is going to be talking about his charges. Hey, listen, we just got to dig in. Hey, don't let them in the end zone. If you make them kick a field goal and they get it, we'll live with that. That won't be bad for us. And, of course, the Thornton Academy Trojans, they just scored the first play after the kickoff, bad snap. They can really seize this momentum.
No doubt about it. Coach John Hersom of Lawrence on the far sideline meeting with his team. Now, if I remember right, he had a twin brother. They both played for their father, Doc Hersom, at Edward Little. And they went on to college, play for Husson maybe? Or
Yeah, the Hersom boys actually are from Gardner originally, and Doc Hersom played at Gardner High School, legendary football coach at Edward Little, moved the kids down there to that area. He went to, both boys went up to University of Maine where they played football, and both have been successful head coaches. Jim Hersom, 10 years ago, brought his Edward Little team down here to play in the state championship game. So both the Hersom boys and their father, one of the great football families in the history of Maine high school football.
All right. Thank you, Rob, for sharing that. They say a 1st and 10 from the 11. Low snap, Libby picks it up, and going to be a loss. Sort of acting like a shortstop, maybe coming in for a quick catching the ball before it hit the ground. So about a yard loss on the play. Rob Munzing was sneaking behind me. Not that I don't trust you, Rob, but he's trying to get a better angle. Again, have a nice position here, but we have to sort of crane our neck on the window near the end zones. Nick Kenny inside the 5. Rob Munzing sent the play in telepathically, I think.
Nick's knocking. That's what he's doing today. He's knocking bodies out of the way. He's getting north and south, and we said that's Nick's game. He likes to get a low body profile. He's done that consistently. You know, Nick's not the flashy guy. He's the north and south guy, the downhill guy, between the tackles guy, and, you know, he's a fun guy to block for because, you know, he's not up there dancing. He's not Fred Astaire or anything else like that. He's getting downhill on a roll.
And he has 929 yards rushing. Full house backfield. Quinlan O'Brien, 64, is a blocking back. It's not full house. Libby near the goal line. I don't think he got in. So, Rob, we're going to have a 4th down, and I think decision time for Kevin Kiesel.
Well, they've got Brandon Briggs, the premier field goal kicker. The ball's right in the middle of the field. You've got a tie game. You're really looking to seize the momentum big time here. Do you take the points or do you go for a kill right here? It wouldn't be a kill for the game, but it'd be a first half kill. They're going to go for it, Jim.
And again, they can pick up a first down at about the 1 yard line. So it's 4th and 3 from about the 4 yard line. 4:03 to go. The game tied at 14. And this is the full house. The last play it wasn't. Christensen under center. He wants the pass, throwing out to Cody Lynn, and incomplete. As I think somebody might have got their hand up because Cody Lynn looked like he didn't really see that ball.
Well, he's got a little sun there as well, I think, Jim, that could have factored into it. They went play-action pass, full house backfield. It was the same play that they had run earlier. Of course, it was a goal line situation, so the back pylon on the end zone is a landing point for the tight end. Cody Lynn on the right side. They faked it off to the right side, tried to lay it up for Lynn, but it just went off his hands. I'm not sure he would have been in bounds. It would have been close even if he had caught the ball, Jim.
All right, so Lawrence, give their defense credit. Now, it's 3:49 to go. Thornton can still seize field position on a 3 and out here. And I think Carey had to keep the ball, whether it was designed or not. Spencer Carey, again, the big quarterback, sort of looked and turned from my viewpoint as I look about 70 yards away. But that, if there's any hole, it was closed in a second.
Yeah, it wasn't a designed quarterback keep. I think when Carey came, he missed the handoff or the back went the wrong way. He did the smart thing, saved the play at least.
So no gain on the play. 2nd and 10, Lawrence. Short gain. I see Alex Riziakis at the bottom of the pile. And that was 27, Bo Grenier. Again, one of the many backs. Anthony Cimentelli, 20, hasn't carried as much today as I thought he would. 1,000-yard runner. And again, 21, Josh Doolin, 25, Jake Doolin, but also 2 or 3 other players have carried the ball already. They're going to say 3rd and 8 from the 6. Carey wants the pass. He's in the end zone, throws it to the middle of the field. And, deflected by Morton. Almost caught by Lawrence, but the ball falls harmlessly to the turf.
Well, Carey did a good job buying some time back there. Wanted to look to originally down the left sideline to his left and came back to the right. Got the ball out there deep enough, but Morton really recovered, turned his shoulders, and tipped the ball away. And, that's a big series here for the Trojan defense, a 3 and out.
Cole Robinson, the punt from his own end zone. Good snap. It's blocked. It's going to be a safety. Quinlan O'Brien was in there. I think he got it. The Q-man, number 64. Out of the end zone. 2 points. Thornton leads 16-14. And Lawrence will kick from their own 20-yard line, either off the tee or by way of the punt.
You know, if you've watched us during the course of the seasons, the TA games that we've done, I've often commentated that almost always Thornton Academy tries to set up the return. Why? Because they can turn that into a touchdown with Libby back there. This time they went for the block. The Q-man, Quinlan O'Brien, came through, blocked it, and knocked it out of the end zone, so that's a safety. So the best of both worlds. You're going to get the 2 points on the safety, Jim, and you're still going to get premier field position because remember, folks, they're going to have to kick off or punt. It's a free kick situation from the 20-yard line. So TA's going to have time. I can't see the clock from where I am. I'm guessing there's about 2:48 or something like that.
Close enough. 2:26.
All right.
Reminds me a little bit of the Bonnie Eagle Thornton game this year at Bonnie Eagle. I think it was the 3rd game of the season but very similar timing to this game. I'm not saying it's going to turn out that way by any means, but
Jim, one of the most overlooked facets of the game of football is field position. And if you go back and look at this whole first half, it's been a game of field position. When the teams have had it, they've scored.
Off the tee. Robinson kicks it. Libby at about his own 24, 30, 40, 42. Pretty good coverage by Lawrence that time. 2:20 on the clock. Thornton has 2 timeouts left. As I look up at the home side of the scoreboard, they're the home team this year. They rotate between east and west. Thornton's on this side, the fans that is, the bench, because this is the home side of the field. I'll tell you a funny story about a Bulldog in a second. 1st and 10, Thornton from their own 41. Tarbox makes a move and then drops the ball as he saw it turned upfield. It was a few years ago, Lawrence was in a title game. Might have been against Barn Eagle or Wyndham. Barn Eagle. They weren't doing very well. And I was down the sideline, walking the sideline, and they had the Bulldog there, the live Bulldog.
Right.
And he seemed pretty disinterested.
Yeah, he did seem disinterested.
So I checked with somebody, and they go, oh, that's not the Lawrence Bulldog. It's the Portland Bulldog that we borrowed. So I said, oh, that's why he's disinterested. Why is he working today? It's not even my team. True story. And also true is Lawrence stuffs up the middle here on a 2nd and 10. But the Bulldog was taking a snooze in the sun and wasn't helping Lawrence, and I found out why.
Yeah.
2 minutes and counting here. 3rd and 10, their own 41. Thornton 16. Lawrence 14. Let's see what the Trojans do. I see Morton nearest to us. Next man over is Tarbox. I think Libby top of the screen. Cody Lynn going to reset on the right side. Libby in motion. Libby has the ball. And let's see. He's going to be short of the first down. Took a hit, sort of fell backwards there. Fans want them to go. Easy for the fans to say, right, Coach?
Well, exactly. Easy for fans. Fans always want you to go. Looks like they're going to put the power. Well, let's see where they're going to go. They might go power Wildcat here. We've seen this a few times at the goal line this year, Jim. I saw Christensen came out.
I see the Q-man, Quinlan O'Brien, 64, who's been a blocking back. And now another timeout, Thornton. You got to get this one right here because, well, we're down to 52 seconds. Lawrence has 2 timeouts. The ball right at midfield. So Thornton will have, if they get the first down, will have 1 more timeout. If they don't make it, you know what? Let's see. I think they're going to punt now. I see a whole change of personnel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the ultimate second guess either way, because if you don't make it and Lawrence goes in, you go, hey, we had the lead. Why didn't we punt? But if you come up short later on in the second half, you go, you know what? We could have scored a touchdown there if we went for it on 4th at midfield.
The other thing you look ahead to, Jim, is, and I'm sure Coach Kevin Kiesel's all over this. He's a great game management coach. He knows they're going to receive to start the second half, too, and that factors into this situation as well.
Excellent point. Let's see what they do. Libby in punt formation. The blocking back, 55, Connor McCrum. Cody Lynn, the lawn snapper. Libby gets the ball away. Fair catch and dropped. And I think Josh Doolin might have got on it. Referee says he got it. A little scary moment for the Lawrence Bulldogs. Let's see what they do here, because they're going to mark the ball at about the 23-yard line. 2 timeouts left, trailing by 2.
Well, one of the things that Lawrence did in preparation for this game, they knew they'd be playing either the first or second game. They're a night football team, as are most of the Pine Tree Conference teams. Almost every Friday night there's a Pine Tree Conference Class A game. But they moved their playoff games to Saturday to try to play in the sunshine a little bit because they'd hope they'd be right where they are.
Okay, Spencer Carey wants the pass, throws across the middle, incomplete. And Xavier Lewis, number 22, coming across. Looked like he had a couple of steps, and then I'm thinking if the pass is off target, maybe Thornton has an interception.
Well, you couldn't tell if it was going to Lewis or it was going to Luke Lawrence coming down the right side, too. It was kind of between the two receivers. Lawrence, a big tight end. He's out of the game now, but he was coming down the seam. Xavier Lewis out to the outside a little bit, and the pass fell between them. Stop the clock.
Clock stops at 41 seconds. Carey back to pass, being rushed, shakes off the tackler, and now, let's see, they say incomplete pass. 75, big Mike Granger putting pressure along with Quinlan O'Brien. And again, Rob, you weren't there last week, but all kinds of pressure the fourth period by a host of Thornton defensive linemen. David Lopalo, Quinlan O'Brien, head Chevrolet's quarterback. And I say quarterbacks because Liam Fitzpatrick actually played wide receiver on a few plays towards the end. But they put a lot of pressure on. You saw it a couple times today.
Well, we've seen that when the teams have to pass. We have seen TA get after it pretty darn well there, and certainly they've got the forcing unit to be able to do this. I think you run the football here, take some time.
3rd and 10. Carey throws a slant and complete. And shedding tacklers, Xavier Lewis. First down, Lawrence with 26 seconds. And referee winds the clock. Spread formation. Carey wants to run it. Falls forward. Quinlan O'Brien getting up. And 72, David Lopalo. And the last timeout, let's see, no. They got one more after this. 15 seconds, Rob.
I like the management by Lawrence on this, Jim. They incomplete first two. I'm telling them to run the ball so that they can run some time off the clock. They throw the ball and execute very well the pass to Xavier Lewis out on the right side, picked up the big first down. Then they came back with the quarterback run, picked themselves up about 6 yards. They've got a second and about 4. That's meaningless because you've only got time for maybe 1-2 plays here. So we'll see how they manage this. What they did manage to do was to eat up the rest of the half as long as they manage this 15 seconds well, and you got to believe that they will. I like what they did there, and I like what Coach Hersom did. He showed confidence in Carey, and that can bode well, in the second half if you get behind a little bit, you got to come down and throw the ball some. He's managed this drive very well.
Okay, you got the triplets to this side, 3 wide receivers. Carey in the spread, throws out to this near sideline, and it's going to be complete and knocked out of bounds. Now they got time maybe for a field goal attempt here. Aaron LaFrance on the reception. Again, Chad Martin has 4 field goals on the year. So they mark it at about the 18. That would be 25 plus the 10. About 35, certainly makeable for him, I believe. But I don't see him coming out.
They have a timeout left, I believe, right? Yeah, so if Lawrence has a timeout, Jim, what they can do is they can run the ball, try to pick up 5-6 yards, call the quick timeout. That's what I do. I run the quarterback up the middle again like they did previously. Try to get a little field position, call a quick timeout.
Carey under center, having trouble substituting as they might have, and thrown for a loss, checking for a possible flag, and there is none, but one of the Lawrence players, Bailey, got off the field. And I see number 80, Chad Martin, 4 field goals on the season. Trying to give Lawrence a 1-point lead here if he makes it. Total of 35 yards. Now, he might have been injured during the season because I know the punter, Cole Robinson, has also made some extra points this year. Cole Robinson had 9 extra points, so I'm guessing somewhere along the line they made a change, or maybe Chad Martin was injured. I don't know if you know that or not.
I don't know. Don't forget Lawrence had many games in hand early, and it could have been a part of Coach Herson's plan to give the second kicker a chance to kick some of those late extra points, Jim, just in case they ever needed him to do it in the season. I'm very impressed with what Lawrence has done here. Let's go back to the big pass on the sidelines that got the ball down to the 18-yard line. TA had trips to the side. They were playing very loosely with two guys out on the trips. The third guy wasn't anywhere to be seen, and they just kind of ran verticals with those three trips and just laid the ball out there. They were putting that ball up for anybody to grab, figuring that if TA got it, well, that's okay. They'd run the clock out. But they hit the pass, and now they got themselves a shot. Let's see where they're going to go. They're going to be right at the 35, so it's going to be a 25. It would be a 36-yarder.
Very light breeze should have no effect. Chad Martin, a sophomore. It's a good snap. The ball's certainly long enough, and they say it's good. 36-yard field goal at the end of the first half. And Lawrence, a little momentum is ahead for the Expo locker room. They lead Thornton Academy 17-16. State championship, Class A, taped on November 17th. Again, halftime score, Lawrence 17, Thornton Academy 16. Stay tuned for the second half on Thornton Academy Television. Start the second half, Lawrence kicking right to left. Bulldogs leading 17-16. Andrew Libby drops it, and he's in, let's see, he's gonna call it a muff. He never had control. Calmly went back. He did not have to run it out, and as soon as it broke the plane of the goal line, automatic touchback in high school.
The rule, Jim, is called impetus of the ball, and the impetus of the ball is given by the kick team on a muff like that. A lot of people get confused, think that's a free ball, and it really isn't. It's a muff. Once it crosses that line, automatic touchback.
Now, as you replay it, I like to see it again because he sort of dropped down and his foot sort of kicked it in. So that was an interesting interpretation of that.
Yeah, they were on it right away. Good call. I don't think anybody quibbles with it.
All right, 1st and 10. We're in a Wildcat from the 20-yard line. First snap of the second half. And the Bulldogs going to drag Libby down after a 2-yard gain. Certainly, Lawrence seized the momentum at the opening kickoff, returning it for a touchdown. Thornton bounced back. Lawrence seized momentum right by halftime on a 36-yard field goal to give him a 1-point lead.
So this is a momentum opportunity right now for both teams. Certainly a 3-and-out. If the Bulldogs get it off the defensive front, they'll get good field position. Trojans want to move the stakes.
2nd and 8, Wildcat formation again. Morton in motion. Libby with a little hole this time. Libby close to the 30-yard line. I think they're going to mark him about a half-yard shot. What do you think, Rob? Or a full yard shot, somewhere between maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be probably full house backfield time here now, where the Trojans like to run the full house off to the left side. Libby carrying from the right halfback position over the left strong side blocking.
Christensen under center. And Christensen might have broke the plane on the second effort, as they say he was down, but I think he's got the first down, but maybe second and third effort.
Yeah, what you do is when you coach him on the sidelines, you can't see sometimes, and I use the same thing up here. I watch the side judges and the linesmen. When they come in past that 30-yard line, as they did here, you know they've got the first down. Actually picked up about 3 yards on that second effort.
That play went a lot longer than I thought. Not so long a change of possession as the ball came loose, but the referees did not blow that with that pile moving forward. 1st and 10, Thornton Academy, trailing by 1 point early in the second half. Libby again off the left side. He breaks a tackle and comes out over the 40-yard line. Andrew Libby disappeared and then popped out of the pile.
So what Coach Kiesel said at the half to the assistant coaches, okay, get the bread, get the butter, we're going with the bread and butter. And that's what they're doing here to come out here in the second half, as they've gone to Andrew Libby almost exclusively on that, except for the quarterback sneak to pick up the short first down, and they'll stay in the Wildcat here.
2nd and 2. Thornton from their own 40. Morton in motion. Libby first down and more. Libby across midfield. First down, Trojans in Lawrence territory. Again, Lawrence from Benton, Clinton, Fairfield, and Albion. Did I get that right this time? Being an educator, I still pretty much know where the schools go. A lot of consolidation, a lot of different matchups these days. but pretty much staying at sad 49. Usually say just Fairfield, but 3 other towns. Dylan Morton on the carry. Morton trying to get to the outside. Lawrence strings it out pretty well on this near sideline. Dylan Morton's had a couple of long runs this year on that type of play, but he needs to get to that outside edge and then go down the sidelines, and pretty good job by Lawrence.
Lawrence pursues very well. They're very quick in their secondary, and they really, really force well from that position. One of the things you're going to look at here is, are they going to go back to the Wildcat here? That was their most successful offense in the second half so far. They're in it.
Morton again in motion. Libby off a hole off the right side. Again, dragging tacklers. Somebody's got the laundry there. Andrew Libby's shirt. It's going to be 3rd down for Thornton. Dylan Morton has 28 rushes this year, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns. 3rd and about 2. Big 3rd down, to say the least. I guess all 3rd downs are big.
2-down territory here, Jim, I think.
Again, Christensen, top of the screen. Libby in the Wildcat once again. Morton in motion. And I don't think Libby got there. Excellent defense by the Lawrence Bulldogs. Wow, I think he got thrown back a little bit.
No gain.
They say no gain on the PA. I'm looking over at that stake that they moved it back a little bit, I think.
I do think he lost probably half yard on that. Luke Lawrence, he's a good player. When the school's named after you, you're a good football player.
All right, they're going for it on 4th down. Wildcat, 7.5 minutes to go. 3rd period, high snap. Libby off the left side is stopped. And you just saw Luke Lawrence, number 40, shoot the gap. And he had some help. Somebody was with him. That's one of the few times this year we've seen a loss on the Wildcat going off the left side.
They played the play, Jim. What you do when you scout, you sometimes will play the play. You'll know the tendency, and we've said it all year long, that's where they like to go, but still, Thornton Academy's been able to execute it. But Luke Lawrence just came in, number 40, you saw them. He ran at the same time that he saw the snap. He just ran to where he thought the play was going to go. Good design there defensively by the Lawrence Bulldogs. That's a big, big play in this game.
Let's see what Lawrence does, leading by 1 point here. Had success passing near the end of the first half. Spencer Carey's going to run this time. Loose ball, picked up by Thornton. Cody Lynn, 1st down Trojans. Wow. Somebody got a hit that time on Carey. The ball came loose, and Cody Lynn returns it to the 30-yard line of Lawrence.
What a quick change around after the big defensive play by Lawrence. They run the quarterback power play up inside. The play came from the side. Somebody stripped Carey from the side. It wasn't a big hit. It was a strip. The ball lay loose, and Cody Lynn right there on the scene picked it up. He's got his Trojans in great shape.
I think Thornton Academy has to score a touchdown for a lot of different reasons on this series. Christensen on the keeper. Christensen could go! Eric Christensen! Touchdown Trojans! From 30 yards out. Christensen being mobbed in the end zone. And boy, what a turn of events, Rob Munzing.
Right 180 on that one, Jim. That's absolutely certain. What they did that time, they'd had good luck with Kenny running over the right side. So they came back, got out of the Wildcat. Christensen came back into the quarterback position. He was in the shotgun formation. They faked it, a good ball fake up into the right side to Kenny. Kenny did a great job of selling the fake. Christensen pulled it, went back to the left side, found a big hole, accelerated through the second level, untouched into the end zone. What a big play for Thornton Academy. You said they needed a touchdown, Jim. They delivered.
And it didn't take long. Trojans going for 2. Christensen going to pass, and he is hit as they went for 2 because it's a 22-17 game. They wanted to make it 24-17. Excellent pass defense by Lawrence. 7:04 to go, 3rd period. Thornton Academy 22, Lawrence 17. State Championship football on Thornton Academy television. All right, if I nudge you a little bit, that means I want to write something down, so grab it. Okay, Jim Toomey along with Coach Rob Munzing. Katie Sotier in the camera, Jeff Christenberry on the sideline. We've just seen Thornton take the lead, this back and forth state championship. Josh Doolin dropped it. And coming in, 61, Jordan Matthews. On special teams, 32, Jesse Meikle in the area. Thornton fans fired up ahead of me. See people standing. We see a lot of the parents with the jerseys, with their son's name, grandparents. We had Ashton Lord's grandmother, Rob, flying in from Orlando, Florida, said she's been watching us on the stream.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks so much. We've had great comments. We appreciate it. 1st and
10. Pitch out. Josh Doolin trying to go wide. Never got to the edge.
Might have been Cementelli.
Tar box, Connor McCrum. If it was 21, it was Cementelli. 20 is Cementelli, 21, Josh Doolin. But what an atmosphere for high school football.
I think this is one of the biggest crowds we've had down here, Jim. Two great communities supporting their football programs. Lawrence is one of the best football communities in the state of Maine, and I would say New England. They always travel great, and they're down here in force today. TA also.
2nd down, Bulldogs. Carey on the rollout, right sideline. And John Riziakis cutting in front of that one. The ball went out of bounds. And give credit again, as I mentioned before, John Riziakis coming back from an injury, missed at least 3 games, maybe 4, has come back. Get a flag on the play. Is that the first flag of this ball game?
Yeah, I think there might have been one offsides called early.
There was a false start.
A false start on the extra point. Other than that, it's been a cleanly played game. Really just a greatly superb job by these officials. These officials are all-star officials, too, the way that they select these folks. They select them from all over the state, and certainly congratulations to the guys that are here working this game.
And, well, you know, the players as well. They aren't doing anything, so obvious that the officials have to call it.
Not one chippy play at all in this game.
Penalty declined on the whole. 3rd and 11. You got triplets to this near side. High snap, Carey's got it. Throws a slant. He was being pressured. I see 64, Quinlan O'Brien, 72, David LaPaulo. Cody Meserve was in that defensive line as well, and the ball came up short.
Yeah, that was one of those plays we've seen where the pressure comes. TA doesn't pressure a lot, but when they do, they crank it up. You saw Tarbox. He'll start back in what we call the walk-away position, creep to the line of scrimmage. He came, the blitz came. They read it. They tried to hit Xavier Lewis on the slant, but good coverage.
Robinson with the punt. Libby at about the 48. Dylan Morton ahead of him. Libby along the sideline. 30, 20, 10. And let's see, did he get in? Touchdown, Trojans! Rob Munzing spotted the wall. He got some blocks. And the last Thornton blocker was very careful. I'm going to give credit to Justin Bohr down by the 5-yard line. Might have had a chance for a penalty. He backed off a little bit. So I'm looking in front of me, Rob. What, about 60, 65 yards, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
My friends at WABI, I said, oh, by the way, on the stats from the website, the punt returns aren't listed. Andrew Libby had 3 punt returns for touchdowns.
Well, Jim, one of the benefits of being up here in the press box, you get a bird's eye view, and it didn't take the old coach long. You know, lots of times teams like to set up that wall to their sideline, and that's what Coach Kevin Kiesel called the return right side. Libby gave a little ground, and as soon as he beat the first and second man that were after him, you could see that he was going to get in the wall. And you know, it doesn't take a genius among us to know that when Andrew Libby gets in behind a wall of blockers, he's going to make exciting things happen, and he certainly did. And you heard me off in the background say he's got a wall. He got a wall. He got in it and scored the touchdown. Now this, well, I think TA must have called a timeout. They want to. Let's see, they're up 28-17, so that's 11. And I'm not sure. Something's going on the sideline. I can't see what's going on down on the sideline. I think one of the officials got hit on the sideline as we're taking a look. Katie's getting down there on the sideline, Jim. See? There's an official right down.
Yeah, I see official without a hat. So I think he was probably the gentleman that got knocked down because his fellow officials are around him.
Well, one of the things that you see in a state championship game, a full complement of officials, they'll use 2 back judges where normally you get 1 during the course of the game. Plus, all the personnel on the sidelines are regular officials. So the people that do the chains are regular league officials as well. So it's a completely officiated crew and, of course, an official running the clock for the official time.
All right, I think our official is okay. Thornton fans gave him a round of applause. 5:56 to go, third period. We're going to give, say, 65-yard punt return from Andrew Libby. By now, you know how close we are. Thornton going for 2, leading by 11. Full house backfield. Libby trying to go off the left side, and this time he's in. He went a little bit wider, maybe. And Thornton is taking the lead, 30-17 in this state championship game.
Well, what a turnaround this was. You take a look at the beginning of this half. Thornton Academy started at their own 20-yard line after the kickoff touchback, went almost exclusively Wildcat with Andrew Libby, picked up a little first down with Christensen at quarterback on that drive. But then on the 4th down and 3 play, Luke Lawrence came through for the Lawrence Bulldogs and put a kibosh on that drive, and you think, oh my gosh, the momentum has gone right over to Lawrence. Well, Lawrence fumbled on that initial first play. Cody Lynn got the fumble. Into the end zone they go to take the lead. Missed a 2-point conversion. Then they get a 3-and-out, and on the punt return by Andrew Libby, we've got ourselves a 30-17 game in a blink and a half.
You appreciate this. I was subbing just a day or so at a Saco Elementary School, talking about what we're going to do this weekend. I mentioned this game, and one of the kids says, "Can you get me Andrew Libby's autograph?" A 3rd grader. Lawrence returns it over the 25-27-yard line. I said, "Are you going to be at the game?" He's, "Oh, I'll be there." Thornton did a good job covering that kick. Josh Coffin on special teams, Jordan Matthews, Josh Sear, number 41, among others. A lot of these special teams players have contributed over the season. Let's see who's in there on defense. I see 55 Connor McCrum, 75 Mike Granger. Mike has fought some injuries this year, but a lot of times nobody knew it. And he's hung in there. 64 Quinlan O'Brien, 72 David LaPaul along that front wall. And let's see what Lawrence does. Carey going to go to the air. He's trying to get to that sideline. Dakota Tarbox sort of got to the edge there and pretty much held Carey to about a 4-yard gain.
Little waggle play out of wing T action. And, of course, Thornton Academy is pretty well keyed into that because that's the offense that they had to prepare for last week against the Sheriff Stags. We had a nice talk with Coach Wolfgram at halftime and congratulated him. And one of the most humble men that you will ever meet, and just he thanked us. But, he wanted to shine the light on these 2 teams out there playing today.
Seemed like a real gentleman. Short game for Lawrence. I identify myself for being from Thornton Academy TV, and I congratulated him on his team, always classy and so forth, and that Thornton respected Sheriffs very much and knew they had to play well, very well, in order to win that game. So let's see. This is going to be a 3rd and about 1 here for the Lawrence Bulldogs. Pretty fast-moving third quarter, Rob. We're down to 4:40 on a moving clock. Thornton leading 30-17. First down, Lawrence from the 36. And they might have got the yard. Not much more than that. See Cody Lynn in there. Whole bunch of dark shirts in there. Let's see where they mark it. And they're going to call for a measurement here. All right, if it's short, they're going to go for it? Because it's going to be like 4th and about less than a foot if it's short.
No, not yet. Too much time left here. It's a 13-point swing here. You need 2 scores. And 2 executions on the extra point, you could be back in this thing. So, no, you wouldn't gamble at this point of the game, I don't believe. Unless it was an inch or something, one of those credit cards that we saw in one of the games earlier this year where you could put a piece of, I think he took his credit card out, didn't he, Jim, and use it?
Well, it's a first down, so we don't have to think about the decision-making process. As they restart the clock, first down Lawrence from their own 37-yard line. I'm just peering out of the booth, Rob. There seems to be more people as I look down to the right. We can't get a real shot of it because of the windows, but there's people ringing the various elevations near the Oaks and that end of the field. Carey going to sprint to his left, throws, and incomplete. Cody Lynn on the defense, 18, with Andrew Libby coming up. That pass was intended for Robbie Liberty, the tight end.
Liberty lined up on the right side, tight end, waggle play, bootleg. Carey came to left side, tried to throw it back across his body a little bit. Wasn't a bad pass, just missed there, a little bit low for Liberty to get in. So you could see that Lawrence understands that urgency on the offense is becoming a little more paramount here as we're down to 4 minutes here in this third quarter.
Pretty tight formation for the Bulldogs on 2nd and 10. Sort of a counter play, pretty good yardage that time for the Bulldogs. And that's Josh Doolin. Dylan Morton coming up on the defense. 3rd and about 4 for Lawrence. What do you think? Spencer Carey maybe on a rollout option maybe?
Yeah, you have to think Carey's going to get a run-pass option here. They've run some bootleg with him on the perimeter. Cimatelli's going to come back in the game. We haven't seen a lot of Anthony Cimatelli. He's a good ball carrier. We'll see what they've got in store here, but I think at the way that this game has gone so far, this is probably a pass situation.
You see the receivers lined up this side. There's a slant and excellent catch, and the ball carrier, that was number 22. Xavier Lewis again. He absorbed the hit by Libby and hung on. First down Lawrence. They won't go away.
Shotgun formation that time for Lawrence. Carey stepped in there very well, delivered a beautiful strike right down through a vertical, down the seam, got inside the linebackers in front of the safety. Libby tried to come up, make the big hit, try to jar the ball loose. Xavier Lewis held on, picked up the first down. Good-looking football play that time for Lawrence.
Ball marked at the 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Carey back to pass, fakes, and wants to go long this time. And incomplete. John Riziakis on the defense. Pass intended for Aaron LaFrance, who had a couple of catches in that first half. Had one key reception near the end of the first half. So they went to the first down pass that time.
That pass right there, they ran a hitch and go. Riziakis was in a cover 3 playing deep zone there, so he really didn't bite on the hitch, so he was in good position when they ran the go on him.
And I think Lawrence doesn't like the formation. They're going to use a timeout here. 2:52 to go, third period. Thornton leading 30-17. So again, they're giving up one of their timeouts, but at this point, you can't save it in your pocket. You may cost you down the line, but you don't want any mix-ups here. This is a big series of downs for Lawrence.
Well, it certainly is, Jim. They've got to get in the end zone here. You're not going to have that many more primo opportunities to score, and you can see that the Thornton Academy offense looks like they're starting to click a little bit as they've come back and had a couple of big plays. The latest one was a long run by Christensen on the quarterback keeper off the play action play to the right side, came back left for the score. One of the things you're going to see next year, folks, is when we go to these 4 classes, this may be Lawrence's last year in Class A. They're a school of 700, which puts them solidly in Class B, where their numbers would project them along. Now, you talk about the storied history of this program back to the days of Pete Cooper and up through that. And so you wonder whether or not they'll choose to go to Class A. But they will be initially put in Class B. Of course, Thornton Academy, large school, they're going to be in Class A.
Some interesting things may happen, such as Cheverus Portland Deering may be in the East next year. But we got business at hand. Carey throws out to the right side. Complete. The receiver gets away. It's going to be third down.
Pass is complete to number 25, Jake Doolin.
Jake Doolin on the reception.
53,
Bobby Began getting credit for that tackle. Double B, one of the tri-captains along with Connor McCrum and Eric Christensen. 3rd and 3. 31-yard line. Lawrence, pretty tight formation. And trying to go for the first down, pulling forward was Simontelli. Morton, Alex Riziakis, and Began in the area. First down, he fell forward. Nice strength shown by Simontelli. It appeared that he might be stopped short.
Good second effort there that time, and Lawrence came back to one of their bread and butter plays. Doolin's going off here. I think that was Doolin actually on the carry, 20 and 21. Simontelli just came in the game. So that was Doolin on the carry. Good effort by Doolin, but nicked up a little bit. Simontelli now in the game here for the Lawrence Bulldogs. They've got a new set, 1st and 10.
27-yard line. Carey wants the pass across the middle. Intercepted! Cody Lynn! 10, 20, out of bounds. Is that a flag down there or not?
I don't see anything, no.
All right, no flag. I saw something shining over there by that official. Beanbag, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm getting paranoid.
That's the beanbag that marks the spot of the change of possession. So Lynn just inside the 10-yard line on the interception, as to the right side, thrown back across his body was Spencer Carey. The ball floated a little bit on him. Cody Lynn able to undercut it, make the interception.
What a season by Cody Lynn. Nick Kenny says, hey, I'm rested, boys. Rips off 8 yards, but Cody Lynn with a fumble recovery and also an interception. Again, Cody Lynn, a junior, 6'3", 220, has really stepped up this year, starting on both sides of the ball. And indeed, it is an 8-yard gain. We're nearing the 1-minute mark of this 3rd period. Libby hit at the line of scrimmage. Big Luke Lawrence, number 40. I can see why he's got so many tackles, but they might have marked Libby for the first down. And somebody's shaken up for Thornton. I think Mike Granger. And Ashton Lord, 74, sophomore. He's probably contributed the most from the sophomore class this year. 74, Ashton Lord. Mike Granger comes off. I know he's had some shoulder problems this year. Sometimes on live stream we don't talk about things we know because you never know who's listening, but it is a first down for Thornton. And Kenny, about the 39-yard line. And depending on when they reset, it might be the last play of this 3rd period.
They'll need to snap it. They'll need to snap it at about 1 second. There was about a 1 second differential between the ready for play and the end of the quarter.
Okay, let's see. It's hopefully Thornton knows that. As we went under 10 seconds, the play is off. And Kenny, nothing much there. So it's going to be 3rd and long for the Trojans when we begin the 4th period. We end the 3rd period, state championship football. Taping this on November 17th, the Thornton fans excited as they see the Trojans score 2 touchdowns in the 3rd period. At the end of 3, Thornton Academy 30, Lawrence 17 on Thornton Academy television. Okay, big 3rd down to start this 4th period. Thornton going right to left. Christensen wants to pass, looking for Tarbox, and that was intercepted by Lawrence. Simontelli. Number 20, 5'9", 180-pound senior. Lawrence ball at their own 36-yard line.
Simontelli giving up lots of height there to Tarbox, but he made up with it with great positioning there. As they tried to go a back shoulder throw, Simontelli would have none of it, maintained his inside leverage, came back, made the interception on a slightly underthrown ball.
One receiver to the top, inside handoff for about a couple of yards. See Cody Meserve, 67, has checked in the defensive line. Getting up last is 64, Quinlan O'Brien. I saw him after the Chevrolet game. And of course, a lot of action on the field afterwards and celebrations or whatever. And he basically introduced myself in case he didn't recognize me. And I said, I call you the Q-Man. He says, I know it, I love it. The Q-Man. 2nd and 8, Bulldogs. Trying to get off the left side. Jake Doolin, sort of a multi-purpose back, may have a Lawrence first down. 5'7", 170 pounds. Jake Doolin. 13-point margin here, 2-possession game. Officials looking over for the spot, and the referee, Rocky Buck. Good name for a referee.
Rocky's been doing a lot of games for a lot of years, and you know, these officials give up a lot of time, and they have to be trained. They all have obviously other careers, but you know, they give their time to the game just as the coaches and players do. And you know, I was always trying to help those officials out best I could from the sidelines, but a lot of times they didn't want my help, Jim.
Gee, I kind of understand why. First down, Lawrence. Well, I think it's a challenge during the regular season because 90% of the time you're having a 4-man crew, and it's tough to keep up with the athletes sometimes.
It truly is. They've gone to 5-man crews up in Central Maine, and that's made a big difference, of course. Well-officiated game here today, as we've said.
All right, one receiver to the top of the screen. Everybody else in tight. Spencer Carey. Hand off. There's a hole. That's Josh Doolin. He may go. Touchdown, Lawrence. From 54 yards. That's the other Doolin in the sense of Jake Doolin's scored on the opening kickoff. And Josh Doolin, 54-yard run, 10:43 to go. 4th period.
Well, interesting what Lawrence did. After having the turnover, the pass intercepted, they got the Cimitelli interception, and they went right back to good old-fashioned bedrock football. That's blocked. That ball's dead. They went right back, Jim, to their old bread-and-butter football, power football, and what's the result in? A touchdown. Sometimes you outthink yourself a little bit. They got right back to what they were, reestablished themselves, and now we got a touchdown game right here, a 7-point game.
Penetration that time. Looks like Libby, Lapallo, and O'Brien all crashing in there. So last week, they blocked the extra point by Chevrolet. It didn't salt the game away, but what it did is take a little bit of psychological effect away from that Chevrolet touchdown, because instead of tied at 14 at the time, it was 14-13. And I thought that was a big point in the game. So let's see, as Coach Munzing says, it's a 7-point margin here. All kinds of time, folks. 10:43 to go. Let's see if Thornton can get a good kickoff return here. This certainly is one of the better Class A games in many, many years.
Oh, absolutely one of the best Class A games we've seen in a long time. A couple were close at the half. Bangor came down, made a game of it for the first half, I think, against Wyndham a couple of years ago, but that got out of hand. But this one, good old barn burner.
All right, Morton, Libby, and Kenny back for the Trojans. Sort of a squib kick. Takes a high bounce. Cody Lynn, 2 hands around the ball, trying to make a cut. He hangs on at about the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 Trojans, going right to left on your screen. A lot of fans standing. The Thornton student section to our left. That are about the 10-yard line to our left. Again, as you look towards the Oaks on the elevated area, you see people ringing that part of the field, people standing near the scoreboard over there. I believe Bitterford won the Sportsmanship Award, as I saw Matt Cody and some of his teammates down on the field said hi to them, and they received, I think, the Western Maine Championship banner. Penalty against Thornton, illegal procedure. So it'll be 1st and 15. Again, we think that's like probably the 3rd flag of the day. Well played game, well officiated.
One holding penalty, I think, in the game, and that was declined on a 3rd down pass play.
Wildcat formation. Libby finds a little crease. Falls forward to about the 30. Right around 4.5, 5-yard gain. They're going to say 4. Scoreboard says 2nd and 11. Again, Jim Toomey along with Rob Munzing. Katie Sotier in the camera. And Jeff Christenberry. He's got enough footage in this championship game for half his documentary.
Can't wait to see it.
And timeout Thornton. So they're going to use a timeout. It's Coach Kiesel. In his 13th year, didn't like something.
Yeah, I want to let folks know that, you know, if you're just catching up with Thornton Academy football and you didn't get a chance to see some of the games, we'll get all our games. You can find I think it was 5 games that we did, Munzing Media and the Portland Press Herald teamed up to bring to the world. And we've heard from a great many folks across. Certainly, we are pleased to be able to do this and hope this will continue in future years. But if you want to catch up with a couple of the games from this season, those are going to be staying up there. They're on the live stream account. You can do a Munzing media search for Munzing Media on live stream. You'll find those games, and they'll be up there for your enjoyment. And certainly, I want to thank Thornton Academy TV. The whole crew here has been wonderful to work with us here at Munzing Media, and also our great partners over at the Portland Press Herald, Joe Grant, the fine sports editor, who took a chance when we proposed this to him a year or so ago, says, I'm not really sure what live streaming is, but Coach, I know you. Well, let's take a chance on it. And boy, hasn't it been something.
All right, thank you for those words, Rob. 2nd down, Trojans. And they fake to Morton, and Christensen keeps for no gain. As I look down at the sidelines, I want to mention not dressed for the game our last number of weeks. Jack Grondin, number 52. You hate to see a jersey on down there with, we'll say, no pads and khakis. Jack stepped up, got a starting position early in the season. He's a junior, so hopefully he'll be back. But he did some excellent linebacker work, and unfortunately hasn't been dressed the last few weeks. 3rd down, Thornton. Big 3rd down. Christensen being pressured. He's thrown down. Jake Doolin, at 170 pounds, showed excellent strength that time. And this is going to be a punting situation for Thornton Academy. Wow. They're going to say 4th down. It says 19. I think it's more than that. But Libby in punt formation. Connor McCrum, the protector. Libby gets it away, and it's going to take a Thornton bounce. That's Jake Doolin trying to get to the sideline and gets back over the 45. Little dangerous catch, but a very friendly hop on this artificial turf.
Well, one of the things you do as a coach, you put athletes back there, and you don't try to overcoach them back there because you can put fear into them. You need a fearless guy that's confident in his athletic decision-making. Doolin did a good job. Initially, got out of the way. Then he saw the hop come up high, went back, fielded it, turned upfield, and actually picked up probably about 10 yards on that. He gives his team great field position. Now, remember I told you last time, Lawrence went back to the old power, what we call bedrock football, and they come right out in it again here.
One receiver to the top, everybody in tight from their own 47. Getting to the edge here is Carey. Carey picking up good yardage. John Riziakis, Andrew Libby finally stop. Spencer Carey, I think that was a run right from the start, wasn't it?
Run pass option. They had receivers downfield, but what happens when the quarterback comes off the bootleg play and sees the corner has been sealed by his offensive teammates, lots of times a running quarterback, he'll just tuck it and he will go. And that's exactly what Spencer Carey did there. He's a little winded. He got up a little gingerly there, but he's given his team the ball in great field position at about the 30, just inside the 35-yard line. Lawrence on the march. You can't, hey, both these teams are champions, all right? Eastern Maine, Western Maine champions, and you know what, boys and girls, they're playing like champions.
8:15 to go. Clock continues to run. 30-23 Thornton. Mike Granger back in the game, the defensive line. Short game for Lawrence. We'll see who the ball carrier was as he disappeared. Josh Doolin actually picked up a couple of yards. Each team with 2 timeouts left. They're going to say 2nd and 7. And Mike Granger going to come out again, replaced by Cody Meserve.
Having trouble with
So Granger returned, but does, again, coming off and holding his shoulder area. And Dakota Tarbox says, "You're not coming my way." Xavier Lewis in sort of a counterplay. Lewis more of a receiver than a running back.
Well, he's a quick kid, and what you're hoping that you'll get is you hope you get the corner so that he's untouched into your secondary. That's where Xavier Lewis can shine. But what they're not counting on is they got a sequoia tree over there in the name of Dakota Tarbox on that side of the football field, and he stayed at home, actually went away, he spied, read, looked for reverse, got it, nailed it.
3rd down and 11, loss of 4 in that play. Lawrence going to throw a pass and dropped out here. Lawrence player wants a catch, not going to do any good anyway in a sense. John Riziakis in the area, intended for Aaron LaFrance. All right, what's Lawrence going to do?
I don't think Carey's been the same since the bootleg Carey, Jim. He just doesn't look good to me. He didn't throw the ball well on that. Spencer Carey's been throwing the ball on a dime all day long. I've been watching him. He's moving a little more gingerly. I think he took a real smack on that bootleg Carey when he picked up the big yardage down to the inside the 35-yard line, and he just hasn't looked the same. Didn't look the same to me on that, and I've been watching him a little bit. Hey, these kids are playing hard, tough-nosed, clean, physical football out there. You're on a big boy football game here today.
So timeout Lawrence. They only have 1 left. The way he was walking, I guess the old-fashioned phrase is a little hitch in his giddy-up.
Yeah, and, I'm not sure what it was. Sometimes, you carry the ball, you come down on the ball, and, boy, that can send you into a tailspin really quickly. Big 4th down play. Let's talk about it, a 4th and 10. So what have they gone to today? Well, they've run some bootleg plays. They hit LaFrance for the touchdown pass as he came from left to right. So we'll see where LaFrance lines up. The other player that they've used here in pass game is Xavier Lewis, number 22. He's caught a couple of balls, caught a vertical down the seam on a big 1st down. He's going to go to the top of the screen. Lewis is going to be far side. They got trips.
Okay, spread formation. Spencer Carey looking to the left. Across the middle, comes up short. Bobby Began dove for the ball, but didn't make any difference. And pressure up the middle that time. Carey shaking up again. I'm not sure who made the pressure. My eyes went to the ball. And again, the Thornton defense, which came up big a number of times last week at Chevrolet, has stopped a team from putting on a march just when it counted.
Dakota Tarbox with the rush from his hybrid position out there as a defensive end, a walk-away pass guy, but this time he came hard on the rush and he got the quarterback.
Going to a full house backfield on 1st down, 2 hands on the ball. We're down to 6:38 here. Libby, the ball carrier. Lawrence with only 1 timeout, which could play a part in this.
That's big, Jim. You hit it. When you hit that they had taken the 2nd time out, I went right to work on that. And what you do as an offensive coach on the sidelines, you start computing, all right, how many 1st downs we need to run this out? 3 1st downs may well do this in this game, Jim.
Wildcat formation. Libby takes the snap. Goes off the right side this time and dragging a couple of tacklers. But, again, Lawrence has defensed that very well today.
Christensen got the 1 loose for the touchdown. Otherwise than that, they've done a really good job. Listen, Lawrence's game plan has been good. It's been sound. They certainly have held up against the physicality of the offensive line for Thornton Academy. You say, well, geez, they've given up 30 points. So don't forget punt return on that, and also some turnovers resulted into that too.
Gain of 1, 3rd and 6. The Thornton faithful standing on this side, towels waving. Hand off to Morton. Morton trying to get to the edge. Dylan Morton, 1st down and more. Morton to the 30. The 20. Knocked out of bounds. Dylan Morton with a big run.
One of the biggest plays of the season for the Thornton Academy Trojans, and I'm going to tell you who made the biggest block of the season right here. And when you start preseason, you don't expect number 11, Christensen, to make the big block on a big play. He was on the perimeter that time. He made an outstanding block against Anthony Cimitelli out here in the wing. If you get a chance to run this play back, look at it, because he stayed with it, and knocked Cimitelli off his feet. Takes a long time for that play. Morton got to the corner and then picked up the big yardage.
1st and 10 from the 13. Libby in the Wildcat. Little crease over the left side. Well executed, well described by Rob Munzing. Morton has excellent speed. If they get him to the edge, he loves to go down that sideline. We're nearing the 5-minute mark, 4th period. Thornton 30, Lawrence 23. We could be part of a classic historical telecast here as people record this off Channel 3 Thornton Academy Television. There'll be DVDs made and sold and everything else. 4:40 to go, though. They got to protect the ball. Libby up the middle. It's going to be 3rd down for Thornton. The clock continues to run. It's going to be 3rd and about 3.
Don't forget, Brandon Briggs is in the bullpen warming up, and you take 3 points here. If it's 4th and a foot, you take 3 points, Jim. You don't go for it on 4th down. This will be a kick situation if they don't pick up the 1st down.
Okay, we're going to be under 4 minutes by the time it's snapped. Full house backfield. Christensen under center. Libby off the right side. Goes under the pile. I think they're going to be short.
Kick it.
Coach Kiesel with a decision. Looks like 4th and about a full yard here. Let's see, the ball's at the 9. Be spotted at about the 16, be a 26-yard attempt. It looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down.
The only thing it might, Brandon's had a little trouble here kicking today, so that may have factored into Coach Kiesel's decision.
Full house backfield. Christian's under center. That's Libby! 1st down! How about a touchdown? As they went back to the left side from 4 yards out. And the Trojans take a 36-23 lead. As they went back to the bread and butter off the left side, getting some nice blocking from that line.
Instead of going with the tight off tackle handoff play, the last 2 times they've come left, Jim, what's it been? It's been the quick flip pitch left side. What that does, it moves it point of attack 1 hole out. Why? Because Lawrence was running to the off tackle play. They move it out 1 bit, and they pick up 2 big plays on that.
Brandon Briggs boots it through. The snap of Cody Meserve, the hold of Eric Christensen. 3:14 to go. Thornton Academy 37. Lawrence High School of Fairfield area 23. And been a tremendous ball game.
Well, it's been a credit to the Maine high school football that these 2 teams have gone after each other in a hard, clean, well-fought game here. No quitting these Lawrence kids. Just every time you've cashed them out, Jim, they come right back at you. Long line of pride and tradition and excellence in Lawrence high school football. And certainly every challenge they met, Thornton Academy upped it and met it again themselves. So teams back and forth. Lots of points scored in this one. And when you take a look at the final, people will say, wow, that's a high-scoring game. And it has been. It's been a cleanly played game. It's been a well-executed game. A couple of turnovers, but you're going to get that in the course of the game. You got 60 points scored in this thing.
Lawrence has been dangerous on kick returns. Squib kick, that big bounce. And picked up and stopped at about the 32-yard line. Xavier Lewis. Down to 3:10. Again, Lawrence with only one timeout. And do you expect Spencer Carey to go strictly airwaves here?
Yeah, he'll be in shotgun formation. You'll probably see that trips formation that they've been running a lot here in this game. And, yeah, they've got to get some quick strikes. But, you know, you're playing right into the strength. Cody Lynn back there, Libby back there, Morton back there, athletes back there, Riziakis. They're primed for this.
They go inside to Cimatelli. They had 3 receivers to this near side. They go a running play off the left side. And we just went under 3 minutes. Gain of about 3. Clock continues to run. Lawrence taking quite a lot of time in a sense. Not to be critical because they played an excellent game, but spread formation, shotgun formation, Carey deep down the middle and incomplete. And a late flag from this near official. You're going to call pass interference. The official nearest the play made no call. Doesn't make any difference. Whoever sees anything can call it. There's no geography about who can make the calls, but it was a little bit late flag too.
You saw it on film. This is why it's good that we don't have to describe it as a radio play, because you saw that the official near the play, who saw Libby come over the top from his vantage point, saw the timing of it, saw nothing wrong with it. The official from back a ways on the side, who didn't have the best of angles, you know, made the call. So that's all we're saying. He may have seen, yeah, I'm sure he saw what he thinks he saw, but, you know, the Thornton Academy officials right down below us didn't think so.
High school ball, 15 yards. It's not a spot foul like the NFL, which is a whole different matter. But 1st and 10, Lawrence from their own 48. Carey being pressured, and he's knocked. Loose ball. David Lapalo on it. David Lapalo pounced on it as Carey went up the middle, contacted by the middle of the Thornton line. The crowd going bananas on this side of the field. The towels are waving. David Lapalo jumped on that ball like it was the last piece of pie at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that ball is going out of the game because it's flat now after David got up off it. But I'm telling you, there was a sandwich in there. You talked about pie, I'll talk about a sandwich. A tie box was in on part of the sandwich. I didn't see who came the other way. And they sandwiched the quarterback, and certainly no chance there at all. And, you know, that should be it right here. He can run it out.
Full house backfield. Nick Kenny, I think, on the carry. Now, you'll be covering the Thanksgiving game, Portland and Deering, on Munzing Media live stream?
Yes, we will. We'll have that on the Portland Press Herald as we have the Thornton Academy games and games that we've done down here for the Portland Bulldogs. And that should be a really good game. Those two teams will be getting after each other for the first time this year. Normally, that's a second replay of a game that occurs. You know, you have your regular season game, then they play on Thanksgiving. But they did not play regular season, so they'll be fighting over the giblets here come Thanksgiving.
And they'll have 3 weeks off, so it could be good or bad depending on how it comes out. But right now, we got state championship game winding down. Libby dragging a tackler on 2nd down. It's going to be 3rd and about 2 for Thornton. 1:40 to go, and Lawrence going to use their final timeout. I'll tell you, what a ball game. This is one of those games that I'll go back on Thornton Academy TV and watch, not to hear me, maybe to hear you, but not to hear me, but just realize how many things have happened over the course of this game. You know, punt return here, reception there, nice pass by Lawrence at the end of the half, field goal. I mean, you sort of know it, but you slow it down a little bit sometimes after the fact. You say, wow. And then also, because of Katie's angles, I may pick up a couple of tacklers or somebody having a key block that I don't see the first time, and you sort of enjoy that and recognize it all at the same time.
Well, it's going to be a game that's going to live for a lot of years here in the Thornton Academy football family, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be watching this. You and I, Jim, will be in the home drooling and watching the radio, thinking that the game's on. But and people will still be watching this one, Jim. And I'm just pleased to be a part of Thornton Academy football. It's a great family. Coach Kiesel had me down to talk to the team last year at their banquet. And I said, you had a great season, but you know what? You don't have anything yet, and they're very, very close to getting it right now.
3rd and 2. Lawrence, no timeouts left. Well said, Rob, by the way. Andrew Libby going to be short. The clock will continue to run. Again, they got to go on fourth here. They'd only gain on a punt that was a touchback. They'd only gain 13 or 14 yards. So they eat all the clock. About 1.5 yards, 2 yards. They're going to actually say 4th and 2. Full house backfield. Christensen looking to the sideline. One of the assistant coaches keeping the play clock. Guess what? Left side, Andrew Libby, first down. You knew it was coming. Jake Doolin shot the gap. Jake Doolin being patted by David Lopalo as they sought a cross pass. Jake Doolin took a chance, shot the gap. Somebody got a body on him. First down Thornton as we're under a minute here.
We got to take it off for both teams here. Many opportunities in this game, Jim, for either one of these teams to say, wow, it's just not our day, but they both fought back. Victory formation, coach's sweetest play ever.
Oh, you love that formation. Eric Christensen takes a knee. Dakota Darbox congratulating Jake Doolin. They'll do it formally in a second. And it looks like they don't have to snap it. So for the Saco, Dayton, Arundel, and surrounding towns, Thornton Academy has a state championship. Rob Munzing, thank you for the pat in the back, as they defeat a very, very tough Lawrence team, 37-23 in this state Class A football championship. Josh Sear comes busting out of the sidelines, number 41, and he's in the middle of that, starting the celebration. 37-23, Thornton Academy state champs. But again, give credit to Lawrence, scoring the opening kickoff, absorbed a couple of momentum shifts, but in the end, it was Thornton Academy with a diversified attack and good special teams play, a la the punt return. Also, Cody Lynn coming up with an interception and a fumble recovery, but again, another team effort for Thornton Academy as we've seen the last couple of years.
Well, they just got stronger as the game went on. You saw them in all three facets of the game. Lawrence challenged them, but the Thornton Academy Trojans matched the challenge, and they will be state Class A champions, and that sounds pretty good if you're a TA fan. I want to congratulate the whole community. As I said earlier, it certainly takes a community to build a football program, and you have your state championship. Your kids have represented your community very well, and you are duly proud of this fine group. And I want to thank everybody for making me a small part of being able to see these kids grow and mature and come on during these 2 years, and let you know that we have plans. You'll be defending state champions, and we'd love to be back with you again next year bringing these games out to the world.
All right, again, well said, Rob. Thanks again to everybody that helped us throughout the years, setting the stage for today. Behind-the-scenes people and everybody else we mentioned earlier in the game. I see athletic director Gary Stevens down there. He's got a big smile on his face. This game taped on November 17th from Fitzpatrick Stadium in Portland. The Western Maine champs, Thornton Academy, have defeated the Eastern Maine champs, Lawrence High School of the Fairfield area, by a score of 37-23. I'd like to thank Rob Munzing for his good work the last couple of years, joining us today, adding his expertise. Katie Sotier on the camera, General Manager of Thornton Academy TV, Jeff Christenberry. Congratulations to Kevin Kiesel, his staff, and the players on the State Championship 2012 Thornton Academy. Check Channel 3 Thornton Academy for basketball coverage during the season. But right now, I'm going down on the field, congratulate a few players. The final score for the final time in this State Championship football game, Class A version, Thornton Academy 37, Lawrence 23. Until next time on Thornton Academy Television, thanks for watching and so long, everybody.